Hey, Chris here from LJ's Card Shop with Man with a Mic podcast. It's Monday, June 26th, and something came up on Twitter that I got in a back and forth with someone about that I don't know if they're new, I'm new, who's been around for long enough. But if you are part of this hobby, you're on social media and said, hey, if you don't have a vouch thread on as a pinned tweet, why or why not? I'm like, I absolutely don't need one. I don't care that you have one. Your 50 people that may be friends of yours or people you've done transactions with, they're not putting their money up if you flake out on me. So if we have a deal on something, first off, I'm paying you goods and services unless you're one of my like 10 top friends who I know is not going to rip me off. I'm paying you goods and services, and you're going to cover the 3% fee because that's part of the deal. Then you see, oh, I want my card for $200 net, yada, yada, yada. I mean, there's different ways people handle things. I mean, there's even a guy whose Twitter handle is, I paid goods and services and I'm not paying your fee. It's literally like you're selling the card. Go find someone else to buy it then. Like, I could want your card. I could find your card other places. I could find it on Instagram, somebody else's Twitter, eBay. Facebook Marketplace, just Facebook. And there are a lot of places you can find sports cards. There's a lot of places you can sell sports cards. But right now, if you have a vouch thread, like I just don't care about it. I'm going to pay you goods and services. Or if we're doing a trade, it's going to be a gut feeling. And I'm probably not going to do a trade unless your name's Eloy the Goat or Mr. K Dub or Kelly or Che or Nick or Ben from Midwest Box Breaks, Buck City Breaks. It's one of the people that I know that I've been on Twitter through the hobby for many years. I have a lot of people that I would trust, but I'm definitely not going to say, hey, if such and such flakes out on you, I'm going to pick up their part of the money. Like, no, I'll say, hey, you want to vouch for me? I bought a card from you. You sent me the card. I paid you some money. I received my card and you received my money. Like, that's about it. I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, yeah, so and so is such a great seller. They packed it up really great. And I would trust them 100% because the honest truth is there's not many people on the internet that I trust 100%. How many times do you see people get catfished? I mean, Monty Teo got catfished during like the national championship game in college and almost like ruined his life and ruined his career. I mean, if something like that can happen, what's someone going to do over a sports card? I mean, someone going to put the time in? I mean, you see people get scammed all the time, but if one person scams for $20, great. But if you're going to scam 100 people for $20, well, that's a lot of money right there. So personally, your vouch means nothing to me. May mean something to someone else, to each their own. If you think it's necessary that you tell people that you're trustworthy, then are you trustworthy? Like, I don't feel I need to tell you that I'm trustworthy. My reputation should stand for itself as me, Chris Goldline Cards on Twitter, or me, Chris, as LJ's Card Shop on social medias. Like, that should just stand for itself. And if it doesn't, I'll move on. It's no big deal. But if you need that vouch, like, hey, I can go ask my brother to vouch for me. I could go ask one of my 18 burner accounts to, vouch for me. Is that going to make it any better? No, absolutely not. But that's what I got to talk about for that part. Because, this is Man with a Mic. I'm just up here talking with no agenda, no, rhyme or reason for it. I'll take a drink of my water real quick. Just something that popped up. And then, if you're doing stack sales or something like that, then all of a sudden you have someone with an abandoned stack. Okay, hey, I'm going to stack you up for like 3 weeks. Then I did 3 weeks worth of work to sell these cards. And you're just gonna ghost me? Like, come on now, man. But you got those vouchers, so it's cool. But oh man, something came up. And then you sell something on eBay. And okay, here's another thing that came up. Someone said, what's your biggest pet peeve on eBay when you're selling? And it's like, for me, it's when I get message says, what's your lowest or lowest question mark or low question mark? Like, put a full sentence together. It's not that difficult. Hey, I was really interested in this card. What is the lowest you're willing to go? And I'm typically going to respond with what's the highest you're willing to go, or I won't respond at all. But if you're going to sit there and you want to make an offer on a PSA 9 card, that might be pretty rare. Say, hey, I saw this PSA 8 sold for XYZ, PSA 10 sold for XYZ. His cards are on the rise right now. This is the reason why I'm willing to pay this much money. I am way more likely to accept your bid or your offer if you're going to explain to me why you feel that's a fair price. Now, if you're just going to say lowest question mark, what's the reply I'm going to give you? It's going to be highest question mark if I even want to take 45 seconds out of my time to do that. Like, I'm a busy guy. And if you can't put a complete sentence together to want to know what, if you want to make a deal, is it just like you have copy and paste and you just hit Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V and send it to like 1,000 people to try to get the lowest? Like, does that really work? Because I'll never send anybody something that says lowest question mark. Now watch, someone's gonna listen to this. I'm gonna get 1,000 responses that just say lowest question mark just to troll me. But you know what? Whatever. That's a really big pet peeve. Is just like, it's not that difficult to put a sentence together, or even a cognitive thought. We get a lot of different things. We sell a lot of stuff. We sell toys and memorabilia and sports cards. And they'll say, hey, I know this is a really rare Transformer. I have like the other 4. This would complete my set because this is the 5th one. This is what I paid for the other ones. This is what I think it's worth based upon XYZ value. Like, we're much, much, much more reasonable and expected to respond to something like that than lowest question mark, low question mark. What's the lowest you'll go on this question mark? Like, okay, I maybe that's just how you deal, that's how you work, but that's just not how I think it should be done. Just my personal opinion, and my personal opinion does not reflect those of my employer. It is just me, Chris, here talking, so I felt like I needed to say that. Anyway, so I've got the vouch thing, and then also the eBay thing with the responses. And it's not hard to communicate with one another. It's not hard to be respectful. It's not hard to put sentences together. It may be a little time consuming, but that extra, how long does it take to write 2 sentences out? If you're going to make an offer on a card, you've probably already done your research. So you know what it's worth, you know the value, you know what you're willing to pay. Now tell me why you're willing to pay that much money. If you've already done the research, how long does it take to actually type it up? Like, not that long. So that's just my opinion. What else can we talk about? We got Wemby going number 1 overall in the draft. How's it going to be with these and with Panini, the XRCs and the highest draft picks not signing with, are they going to have autographs in Prism? Are they going to have autographs in Optic? And it's looking more and more like no. So what is that going to do for the prices of a Prism box if you can't get a CJ Stroud auto, if you can't get an Anthony Richardson auto, if you can't get, a Bryce Young auto or anything in the box? What does that do for the prices of the product? What does that do for the appealability of it? Like, do I still want to go out and buy a case of NFL Prism if I know I can't get the top 3 quarterbacks and an autograph out of it? Does that actually make Bowman worth more? Because I know, okay, Bowman first is huge in baseball. Is Bowman first going to be a thing in football? I don't think so, but I mean, who knows really? Because I mean, Bowman products just started coming out, the Bowman University. So it's just been that the history of sports cards. As soon as the Prism draft picks comes out, sell them in the first 2 weeks. As soon as you get that product out with the NFL uniform, Prism draft picks goes down substantially. People want the cards in their pro unis. So if you can't get a CJ Stroud autograph in his pro uni out of some of these products, like what products are you gonna buy? Are you still interested in those products? Do you want the one of one? You still want to put together the rainbow? Are you chasing after the the parallels? Is the autograph even that important to you? The RPAs out of it. Is National Treasures going to be way different? Does that make our Mahomes National Treasures, Shield 1 of 1 more valuable? Because now, like, if there's not a CJ Stroud, if there's not a Bryce Young one, then who's, is that going to be the greatest National Treasure card ever made? There's a lot of question marks coming around. Now you got CGC announcing that their trading card and their sports cards divisions are going to turn into 1 instead of 2, which I think is a good move. Suze, my pal, Yanks chick, disclosed that she's my job over at their company, and so that's exciting for her and exciting for them. Can't wait to see her at the National. She's a friend of mine, and if you're going to the National, let us know because we'll be out there having a good time. I'd love to meet you, love to shake hands, take a picture with you, and that's what I got for today. We are just over 10 minutes. I like to keep it around 10 minutes. Hit up some three topics or so. Stumbled over my words a couple times because, like I said, I come into this with nothing and I just talk. So go on some tangents. Thank you for listening. We are Man with the Mic at LJ's Card Shop. You can find us on all of the socials. And if you're listening to this, you can find us on all of the platforms. So thank you so much. Have a great week.